President Obama pleaded for respect this week.
I have to say that sometimes we talk about respect, but we don't act with respect towards each other during the course of these debates.
Well, catch this. Polls showing they have negative feelings about the president as a person, as a human being. And that animosity may be hard for Republican candidates to control. Take a look at the difference here between how John McCain handled it 4 years ago and what Rick Santorum did or didn't do 2 weeks ago in South Carolina.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen.
He is an avowed Muslim. And my question is, why isn't something being done to get him out of their government? He has no legal right to be calling himself president.
Well, yeah, I'm doing my best to try to get him out of the government.
There he is cheering it on instead of stopping it. By the way, she made 2 inaccurate statements about him being a Muslim, about him having no right to be president. Even a Muslim has a right to be president.
Right,
and he just let it go.
Not a citizen.
And he just let it go.
The whole birther thing and the Muslim thing. I think you're going to see more of that in the primaries. Having been out on the campaign trail for a month and attended a lot of Rick Santorum's and other people's events, the depth of hatred and fear of the president is overwhelming. Now, what's going to happen in the general election is whoever the nominee is probably going to be Romney, is going to do what John McCain did, or version of that, maybe a little softer. And meanwhile, the independent spending groups and everybody else around him, and those independent spending groups are much more powerful, much more influential, have a lot more money. They've been unleashed by the Supreme Court.
Will they do the ugliness?
They're going to go absolutely nuts, and Mitt Romney will be gentle and nice up to a point.
So that's a big prediction. You're saying that the super PACs will engage in the ugliness about ethnicity and nationality and religion on this guy.
And Mitt Romney will say just enough to try to avoid being blamed for dabbling in it himself.
I'm talking about the Tea Party just for a second. The Tea Party people don't like leaders per se, I've noticed. They don't want anybody up front telling them what to do. Is this going to make it especially hard to clam up this bad talk?
I think it's going to be incredibly hard, but I think there's a danger for Mitt Romney because he's a Mormon. Mitt Romney does have this line in his campaign speech, in his stump speech, where he always says, Barack Obama is a nice guy. He's just in over his head. And I think in that way, he's trying to touch down.
I saw a big change in Mitt Romney this week, though, when John Ralston in Nevada asked him this week about the fact that he was joining at the hip with Donald Trump with the birther issue. He said, well, we agree 80% of the time. He refused to challenge Trump in this interview on that birther issue.
It's going to hurt him.
And I think that is a signal, though, Howard, he may be meaner in the general than
cold politics. Do Republicans run a risk here if they play with this ugliness? If they abide by it?
I absolutely think so. I think, and because Mitt Romney is a Mormon, which a lot of people regard as the other, he can't do that. But I do think when we look at that McCain moment, that was not a great Republican moment. That was a great American moment.
Think so.
Politicians are obligated to do something like that. Rick Santorum to say, I'm not obligated to correct her? No, you are.
Well said.